Hey everyone, welcome back to the video. So today is a review of Sonic SuperStars. The game that just came out. I beat it the same day it came out, so it took about 8.1 hours according to Steam once, the credits rolled. And I got some things to say about it. There's definitely a lot of good here in this game. Like, in general, I really like the game. I'll kind of give, you know, let's go over the basics first. You play as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. There is a surprise for you once you finish the game, and it revolves around the new character that they introduced in this game called Trip. I'll leave that up to it for interpretation about what I mean. Even though I'm showing you footage of the special stages right now, we'll get to that later in a little bit. So once I talk a little more about the overall game itself, the art style, I like it. It's definitely it's like a refreshing take on the Sonic franchise, and I really like it. So it has a charm to it, if that kind of makes sense. Like a more cutesy, comic book art style to it, which I personally like. Some people may not, and that's okay. I generally really like it. I definitely do. I really do. So, yeah. So basically, in terms of like the mechanics and everything, it plays like Sonic Mania. At least that's what they were saying, that they use that as, from a physics standpoint, which by me playing through the game, I actually agree with the developers of the game when they said that, because I remember them saying that in an interview. Which, yeah, it definitely feels that way. Sonic feels like smooth. Locked 60 FPS. I'm playing this on my PC, but speaking of which, Sega purposely hid the fact that the game uses de novo, so already another negative against the game. That only affects the PC version, so if you're playing like on PlayStation, Xbox, or Switch, this doesn't affect you, but for the PC guys, de novo, yeah, will harm the performance of the game. And Sega, they knew that PC gamers hate that shit. We hate it. And so you know what they did? They hid it on purpose. Specifically on purpose, to hide the fact, Sega, I gotta be real with you. If you're gonna use something that people hate it, how about you actually be honest with the gaming community about it, huh? Instead of trying to hide it until the game release, because you know damn well that people hate that shit. You knew damn well. And as far as I know, you didn't hide that with Sonic Frontiers, so why hide it with Sonic Superstars? Very strange. Very weird, which I don't know how many times have to tell people de novo does harm performance of your games on PC. It is a common fact. Because I don't know why companies keep doing DRM, but anyway, that's not the whole point of this video. Now let's, mid a little side rant over, now let's actually talk about the special stages. Okay, how the special stages work is that when you're getting Chaos Emeralds, this is how you get them. Where this is like these more 3D look in terms of like special stages, you have to essentially use like a grapple thing to latch onto these things, and once you get it, to get the Chaos Emerald. And these special stages are not only for Chaos Emeralds, by the way, because remember those portals in Sonic's, like Sonic 3 and Mania and all that? Those are back here again, but this time there's more than one though. Because once you get them, you actually get a Chaos Emerald, and what's special about the Chaos Emerald in this game is that each one, you actually unlock a new ability instantly that can drastically change the game. As you can see here with this demonstration, I unlocked the ability to clone myself, where you can have like a whole bunch of yourself, attack enemies, which is really helpful, especially in boss battles we'll get to later. There's another example where one of those mini special stages you remember, like from Sonic 3 and Mania, where you just collect rings. So that's another example of a special stage, and sometimes they come in random portals. And there's another portal where you can actually, this is like the Sonic 1, inspired special stage, if y'all remember that, for all the old school dudes like me, so who have been with the series for so long, since the beginning. So yeah, definitely heavily inspired by Sonic 1. So sure, it's definitely like it hits a nostalgia boner for those who have been around the series for so long, especially from the Genesis games. Yeah, this definitely hit a nostalgia boner. I know Sonic 4 did, the same thing for the Chaos Emeralds by doing that, but yeah, Sonic 4 wasn't exactly the best in terms of like mechanics and everything. So yeah, not the best, but I mean, I thought Sonic 4 was okay. It's definitely not as good as this or Sonic Mania by any stretch of the imagination. And also, like medals, those are your currency that often, like sometimes they'll ask you if you want to visit the shop, whatnot, and that's kind of what those medals are for, where you can unlock, unlock new like skins and everything to do for customizing your character in multiplayer. I haven't touched the multiplayer yet, so I haven't played like that whole new battle mode thing. And there's another way to get medals. They actually use the Chaos Thermal special stage for medals too, where if you use those portals things, you can actually speed faster, collect rings to increase your time. So, and be careful though, because one misstep and you can fall easily. That's actually happened to me a few times when I'm trying to collect medals, so keep that in mind. And again, the Sonic 1 inspired special stage, you kind of get the whole idea. And I didn't mention this, but with the first one, the Sonic 1 inspired special stage, there's actually levels to it. So if you would do everything right, you could actually get 3 medals in this particular special stage, which is kind of nice, honestly. So it's pretty nice. So the special stages, these little mini games, but if you want to experience everything in the game, you kind of have to go flow with it, especially for the Chaos ones to get that true ending, like in traditional Sonic style. We know that's both 2D or 3D, so you gotta get the idea. So yeah, special stages, I like them, especially I like the fact that some of the special stages for the Chaos ones are, I've been noticing with both Mania and now this, are more of a 3D, kind of playing off of the Sonic CD style. I like that. Do more of that for, future 2D Sonic games. Now let's get to actual boss battles, and this is one of my main criticisms with Sonic SuperStars. You know why? Because the boss battles are like really long. They're fun, don't get me wrong, but I think they can overstay their welcome. How it's set up is where end of each act there is a mini boss. So mini boss right here in this one. This is, the bee-like one in the second zone of the game, which is like this jungle-like theme, which there's 12 zones I believe in the entire game. Some of them are only one level, while other ones are actually have sometimes more than 2. So in terms of 12 zones, yeah. So I obviously as a veteran I beat the game in like 8 hours. So, but yeah. And by the way, using those Chaos Summon abilities once you have them all can be a game changer to taking down bosses pretty easily if you know what you're doing. Like for example, in times I would use the Colonia one as a big help. That's a big gain, big advantage for you when you're using in boss battles. Now, I've noticed that as the game went on, the boss battles actually became much tougher, especially that final boss, man. If you've beaten the game, you kind of know what boss I'm talking about because, oh my lord, I struggled with that one really bad. I did eventually finish it though, but man, I was getting really annoyed by some of the nonsense that boss has. But that's like one of my main criticism of it. Now, another criticism I have is like I don't think the soundtrack is as strong as Sonic games typically are. I mean, there's still some good tracks in it. Believe that some of the music is not as strong as typically Sonic games hit, and that's usually like a strong point for Sonic games. You all know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, Sonic Frontiers has some of the best music, especially vocal-wise, in the entire franchise, and that's saying a lot. But yeah, the bosses, I think they can overstay their welcome, but they're still pretty fun though, especially once you kind of get in your groove and learn to actually use those Chaos Summon abilities to your advantage. There's others, and by the way, once you get the last emerald, you actually unlock your super form for each character, plus other one. I'm not going to say what it is for spoiler reason, but yeah, so in total you have 8 new abilities, 2 of them you get from the last Chaos Emerald. And notoriously, the 5th one is the hardest one to unlock. Which is, of course, that's traditional Sonic fashion, in my opinion anyway. Some may have struggles with other ones, but to me, I say the 5th one was the hardest to get. That's just me though. But in terms of like bosses, yeah, overstayed the welcome. Definitely a big criticism for me. And now that the criticism out of the way, which is the bosses can overstay the welcome, and the soundtrack doesn't hit as hard, I'm going to show you in a little bit. Okay. Now here's a little bit of music. Okay, now you kind of can see what I'm saying though. Personally, I think it sounds like Sonic 4. I get they were kind of going for like a different music direction. It's okay. It's not the best out there, but I like some tracks of it. I really do, but like some of the boss music is really freaking good, in my opinion. So it's not all bad in terms of the soundtrack, but yeah. Let's get to verdict time. Do I recommend Sonic Superstars? As a fan of the 2D Sonic games, yes. Should you buy it full price? I'm gonna hesitate on that. Let me explain. Because it's a 2D Sonic game at $60, man. And with some things going on, like the whole DRM, especially on PC, so that's another negative as well. But come on, Sega, remove DRM, man, because DRM should not exist anymore, man. Like, your games are gonna sell no matter what, because especially as this is actually a pretty good Sonic game, it's gonna sell no matter what. So I don't know why DRM needs to be a thing. Come on, game publishers, learn from this. But anyway, back to the game itself. What would I rate? If I were to rate the game on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a 7.5 to an 8. Like, there's some strong, like the art direction, the level design is really creative. I really like some of the gimmicks that they've actually implemented in this game, like really creative. And also, just how fun the game is from a gameplay standpoint. Now, obviously the criticisms, the boss battles can overstay their welcome, and can be a bit frustrating sometimes, but once you kind of get in the groove of it, you come around on it. And also, the music doesn't hit as hard, in my opinion. But yeah, I would give the game a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Pretty good game, especially if you're a 2D Sonic fan. But if you're kind of still hesitant, I would wait for a sale, honestly. Especially because of how, short the game can be. I mean, I beat it the same day it came out. But at the end of the day, though, this is a great Sonic game, especially if you like 2D. So I do hesitantly recommend it. I do recommend it, but I would wait for a sale if you are on the fence about it. Especially if you are not like a Sonic fan of any sort. That's it for me, though. What do you guys think of this game? Have you played the game? If so, what do you think? If you've beaten it, what's your overall thoughts on the game? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you like this video, hit the like button. And I'll see you on the next one. Until then, have a good one.